G'day folks, welcome back to another share update, and today we're looking at NVDA and Meta, and there's a potential downturn to continue. The reason I'm showing you these two out of the Magnificent 7 is because there's been a couple of insider sales, and I'll cover those in a minute. First, looking at the fundamentals and the outlook for Meta. First of all, the stock performance. Meta is currently trading around $595, but it's breached moving averages on the downside, so be careful about going long, in my opinion. Analyst ratings, the stock holds a high rating of 88% based on the twin momentum investor model, indicating strong fundamental and price momentum. Institutional interest, top mutual funds have recently increased their positions in Meta, suggesting confidence in its growth prospects. And the founder, Mark Zuckerberg, has exercised options and sold $28 million worth of stock, just a bit of a lightening of his holdings. For NVDA, stock performance, NVDA is trading around $131, breaching moving averages to the downside also. Analyst ratings, the stock is currently highly rated, scoring 100% on the twin momentum investor model, reflecting robust fundamental and price momentum. For valuation, analysts suggest that NVIDIA might be overvalued by approximately 16% compared to its intrinsic value. And in terms of insider trading, independent directors sold $131 worth of stock on December 20. So first looking at NVIDIA, we always start with the longer term time frame trends, and you can see here on the monthly, the weekly and the daily. On the monthly, the price is still pretty strong. It's still above its moving averages, but notice the CCI moving averages, or the CCI, is showing lower highs versus high highs on the price, and that's a very long-term bearish divergence. And currently also on the CCI, that's broken below its moving averages, which according to our estimates, it's going to be a bearish outlook, possibly at the very least a small retrace to the downsides, and that could be the start of it this month so far with that bearish candle. That's the monthly. On the weekly, we've also got a bearish divergence. Now notice the CCI is broken to the downside, and it looks like the price is also going to break to the downside of that moving average range. On the daily, that's already hit this breached the moving averages on the price and also on the CCI. So again, not looking too strong at the moment. I would wait for this to break above on the daily to go long, especially I wanted to see it break above that previous resistance at 152.81. But at the moment, it's a bit of a downtrend and looks like it's continuing as we speak. Now, if we go to the intraday, now even if you're trading on the daily, we always trade in the direction of the higher time frame. So if you're trading on the daily, make sure the weekly at least is bullish. So again, we do trade, if you're trading on the daily, we also look at the 1 hour time frame. And the reason for that is the 1 hour time frame gives you a lot more indication and volatility in terms of diversion. So you can see here, for example, back in that little period, we had a bearish divergence on the CCI, lower highs, versus the same period on the price chart, higher highs there, and then the price eventually fell off. And at the moment, there's no bullish divergence. At the moment, there's no divergence to talk of. The CCI is moving in line with the price. But overall, just to summarize, we're still looking at a decline on the price for NVIDIA, with no sign yet of a pullback to the upside. And again, as I said, I'd prefer to see this break higher on the CCI eventually, but also especially above this moving average on the price, and ultimately above this previous resistance to be more bullish. At the moment, bearish outlook for NVIDIA. So for NVIDIA, in terms of insider sales, what we look at first off on the summary page, first thing we look at is dividend yield. You can see there it pays a very small dividend yield, which is better than nothing, I guess. And in terms of holders, go to the holders tab. And under the major holders section, you can see there the top institutional holders of Vanguard and BlackRock and FMR, etc. So it just gives you an idea of who the institutions are. And in terms of insider transactions, you can see there in terms of sales over the last 6 months, there were 10.5 million shares sold versus 2.1 purchased. So again, just maybe adding a bit of insight into people or the insiders selling off their shares and taking the profits off the table. And you can see there who the actual shareholders were, and the director there was the main, I suppose, seller of the shares for NVIDIA. So for Meta or Facebook, on the monthly, it's pretty strong price movement. On the monthly, above its moving averages. There's no CCI for it on the monthly. On the weekly, again, we've got a couple of bearish divergence. So if I zoom out on this one on the weekly, we had a bearish divergence back here versus higher highs on the price, and the price fell off. And now more recently, we've got this other bearish divergence playing out at the moment on the CCI versus higher highs on the price. And we may well see that drop as well below this, or come down towards this moving average range in the near term. The CCI is actually broken below its respective moving averages, so just be mindful of that. Again, I'd like to see this break higher to be more bullish. On the daily, we've got a different set of divergence here. We had one little one here between that point and the price fell off. I've got another bearish, almost a double top on that CCI there. The price is actually broken, and the CCI is broken through that moving average, but notice higher highs on the price, and the price is also coming back, threatening to break through that moving average range as well. So again, bearish movement on the daily price, on the daily chart. On the intraday, again, we look at any smaller range movement. So again, you can see there was a bearish divergence versus higher highs on the price, and the price fell off. And what we look at doing is just in terms of pullback, we do measure it based on the Fibonacci's, and our immediate target range is the 23-38% level. You can see that's already fallen through that 38% and currently coming near the 50% retrace level. If it breaks below that 61%, that's going to be a continuation, most likely, of a downturn. That's on the 1 hour. And you can say the same about the daily. So if we look at the daily here, we look at that range there, we take it back to the previous low. So if I go from that high to that low, you can see there it's already penetrated that 23-38% level, currently sitting around that 31% Fibonacci retracement. So as I said, it's still a bearish outlook at the moment for Meta/Facebook as well. For Meta, on the summary page, again looking at the dividend yield, if that means anything to you, I prefer to have stocks that pay dividends, albeit small. Again, a small dividend there for Meta. And go to the holders page. And under the major holders, again, Vanguard and BlackRock are the two major institutional holders of inside of Meta stock. Go to insider transactions, and it shows you no purchases or sales on the last 6 months summary. But if you scroll down, you can see there Zuckerberg sold $22 million worth of stock, and that was in December 16, just a few days ago, and then followed by the COO of sales as well. A lot of sales happening there recently. You can see there they're taking some money off the table. To support the channel more, hit that like and subscribe button and share the video. For added benefits and the cost of a coffee, consider subscribing to the Patreon page, where we look at weekly scans of bullish trending shares and insider trades that may have occurred. Thanks again, and see you in the next video.